Hello, good morning. We have a little bit different orientation today. Um, I have a new puppy dog, so she's taking over a different space, but um, we will go ahead and get started. So we'll start seated on a block here or on a bolster, whichever one kind of works for you. And we can find our Siddhasana, right? Which is this seated pose here. And then when you're ready to close the eyes, go ahead and close the eyes. Let yourself feel the earth below, right? So we're just the earth below. It's like this reminder of kind of the foundation, what's real. It's like this little check-in point to come out of those 10,000 things that we were talking about yesterday and kind of just ground it into here and now. Let the breath be just as it is. And just our moment of checking in. So this day, this moment, how are we, what's the weather in the body, in the mind, in the spirit, in the emotions. And kind of taking that moment to just kind of notice how we can kind of almost step back a little bit, almost like a little kind of, like we were mentioning yesterday, the witness, becoming witness to our experience. And for me, right away, when I come into that witnessing place, it's like draws me right into the mystery of being alive and what all of this is. Let's go ahead and put one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. And just have that as a gesture of listening inwards. Sometimes with the hands on the body, it can be just a little bit more, you can have a little bit more sensation, a little bit more sensitivity that way. The little puppy dog is making all kinds of noise. Hope it's okay. And then we'll bring hands to heart center and just having a moment of intention. So what is the intention for the day, for the moment, for wellness? And then we're just going to take the next half hour to just embody more and more of that intention, right? So we'll lace the fingers, press the palms away, round through the back, kind of curl the tailbone under, draw the chin in towards the chest, and really just pull front body to back body. And then we'll lift the palms up towards the sky, so long through the arms, long through the side waist. Let the shoulders lift. You can let it just be like a whole feeling of kind of compression almost up in the shoulders, up in the neck. Any little wiggles, shakes, kind of shifts side to side. Right, see if the body is asking for any of that. And then we'll take the hands to the back of the head and pull the hands apart so the elbows have this kind of movement away from each other. So the elbows are pulling, pulling, pulling. And let the chin just come down slightly towards the chest so we're kind of feeling the length in the back of the neck. And then see if you can lift up from the chest as you press the hands, press the head back into the hands, maybe look up a little. explore the breath, so the full breath. And you might notice that when you inhale, there's a feeling of expansion, like through belly, ribs, chest. And as you exhale, maybe there's like a hug in of the belly, so the belly kind of hugs up and in. It could be gentle, it could be a little stronger. So you can explore that movement a couple times. So the inhale is this kind of expansion, and the exhales in and up. We can make that small little constriction at the back of the throat, practicing our Ujjayi breath. And then let's come into our twist. So I'm going to go right hand to the left leg first and turn towards the side. And you can kind of come into like a gentle twist at first, so not like your biggest, best twist. Let the chin come in, kind of round again through the back, so you're feeling it's almost like a release. And then as you inhale, we'll just kind of grow tall through the spine. So see if you can get that breath pattern now. So it'd be like the exhales, this kind of round in. And then the inhale is this finding that growth through the spine. Then you might already remember kind of how we were pressing the head into the wall, and the way that that kind of press of the head into the wall helps the crown of the head grow taller, the neck grow longer without lifting the shoulders, right? And then we'll grow tall. You can continue to explore that if you want to pause the video. Otherwise, we'll look towards the back shoulder, and this is kind of just finding the fullness of the twist. So see if you can feel sit bones on the block or the bolster, and that the movement upwards comes from whatever's touching ground, right? So there's this movement upwards. The inhale again is expanding in all directions, and then the exhale's this keep the height, but it hugs in. We'll keep playing with that. We'll come back through center. Oh, new puppy dog. It's okay. You're okay. Good girl. Yeah. We'll lace the hands, press the palms away. Again, rounding through the back. I'll have to show you my new puppy dog once we finish. We'll lift the palms up towards the sky. So again, getting long, long, long. You're okay. Good girl. Again, just feeling the lift, maybe a little wiggle side to side. And the growing tall, tall, tall. And then we're going to come into our twist from here. So I'm going to go left hand to the right leg, the left hand back behind. Come in softly, round through the back, chin in towards the chest. And then as you inhale, a growing taller through the spine. Lift, 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 right? So it's a tall and it's an expansion. And then the exhales, this rounding in, kind of releasing, compressing. And the inhale from the sit bones. Tall, 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 tall. Maybe one more like that. Rounding in. And then growing tall, tall, tall. Go at your own pace. Don't let me rush you. Pause the video if you need to just kind of explore if you find something that's interesting, right? And then we'll turn the chin towards the back shoulder. Find the inhale and expansion. So that's the growing more spacious, right, with the breath. We find a little bit more height perhaps. And then the exhale is this hug in of the rib cage, the breath. The inhale and expansion. And the exhale, a little deeper twist, little taller growth. And then we release back center. Got stuff in my eyes. Just pause and feel. Let the shoulders relax. And then we'll go right hand, right fingertips over towards the ground, and we'll go left arm up and over. Again, I like to push the right hand into the ground and almost like lift the bottom ribs, the right ribs kind of lift up. Left ribs lift up any amount, and then ground the right sit bone, left sit bone. And you're just kind of playing with this arc over, right? Just kind of seeing what you can feel in that way. And we'll go up and over to the other side. Again, pressing into the left hand, letting the left ribs almost lift, the right ribs puff up, just kind of accentuating this arc of the spine, grounding through the right sit bone. So we're kind of creating this muscular action. And breathing deep. And come all the way back up center. And pause there. And pause and feel. So that was a little fast moving, but we're going to move on. We'll have our blocks up here near the front of the mat, and we're going to come onto all fours. Now, I don't have a wall in front of me. Maybe you can see my doorway, but I thought maybe I could talk you through it as opposed to demonstrating. But we'll come onto all fours and we'll explore a little cat-cow first. So same that we've been doing, where we're really rounding the spine, curling the tailbone under. Remember that little puff between the shoulder blades? So it's like the shoulder blades kind of moving apart. And then come the other way. So let the belly drop, let the chest lift. Feel the sit bones pointing up and back behind. And then if you want to move on the breath, you could have the exhale be this kind of round under. And the inhale come into our cow pose. Exhale. And the inhale. Yeah. And then, so we'll find our neutral. We'll walk ourselves over to the wall, if you have the wall in front of you, and find the right distance from the wall to where you can be kind of pressing the head into the wall. Arms underneath the shoulders, right? Let the belly kind of hug up and in softly. And find the breath. So that might mean, remember when I had my hand on your low back and you were kind of bringing the breath into the low back. See if you can do that. And then find the press of the head into the wall. It can be gentle at first. And then play with the shoulders. So let the shoulders shrug up towards the ears. And then away from the ears. So it's way down out of the ears. You get that long neck. Belly hugs up. Neck grows long. So there's a press. And really, if you can just imprint that feeling of the press of the head into the wall, that's the sensation, the feeling, the work that you're going to look for in other poses as well. So that's really what this is about, is establishing neural physiological kind of pathways, right? And so it's the mind recognizing the action, right? The awareness, feeling, and then also building the musculature, right? It all goes together. So find the shoulders way out of the ears, press through the neck. or head, excuse me. Press through the head, top of the head. Just see what kind of reach today, right? And as you practice this, you'll find more, right? You'll each day, it's like, oh, there's a little more awareness. Let's release into child's pose, and you can release the hands back behind so that you can really let the shoulders go, right? So after the work, we want to let the shoulders just kind of slump. So you can let the crown of the head come down to the ground, the forehead down to the ground. And let the shoulders round. Find your breath. Really relax everything. And then we'll press into the hands. We'll take our blocks to the top of the mat. We'll come up onto all fours. And we'll step left foot forward between the hands. Let the hips shift forward. Find that stretch, how it feels good. And as you're here, see if you can let the shoulders come down and the crown of the head reach. So see if you can find that work. You might go, no with the shoulders up towards the ears, and then you might let the shoulders depress. It's actually called shoulder depression in anatomy training, right? And you might let the crown of the head lift. And you just might explore and just see what that feels for you. See what you can connect into today, knowing that each time you practice, you'll gain a little bit more sensitivity in that area. And then we're going to shift the hips back just a little bit, right? So we can take the hands to the front knee. And then we'll take the arms all the way up and overhead. Let the shoulders stay relaxed. Let the neck feel long. Maybe look up. And then we'll release, hands back down. Yeah. We'll come back onto all fours. Maybe sweep the hips one way and then sweep the hips the other way. So we're kind of almost doing like this little semicircle. And when you do this little semicircle, you can let there be any kind of little organic movements here that feel good. So right, remembering, right, sometimes we can get, when we're really focused and practicing, we can get into little bits of rigidity, right? So just letting ourselves roll around a little. Yeah. And then we'll step the right foot forward between the hands. Shift forward, find that stretch. Get light in the hands. Light in the hands, heavy in the feet, the legs. And then you could practice. Remember when you might look at the video just to kind of see about this shoulder depression, the chin hugs in, and the crown of the head reaches. So you can kind of play with that movement where the chin hugs in a little, back of the neck long, shoulders out of the ears. So if you want to move in and out of that, you could round the shoulders forward up towards the ears, and then shoulders way out of the ears, crown of the head up towards the sky. So it's the very top. It's almost like if somebody had little grips on the corners of your ear, the tops of your ears, and they were like pulling your ears up towards the sky. Some people say that helps them find that. Go ahead and shift the hips back a little bit. We'll take the arms up and overhead. Relax the shoulders. Find the length in the neck so you're actively growing tall through the crown of the head. And you find the breath. And then hands back down. And we'll shift the right foot back. This time we'll tuck the toes And we'll lift the knees and we'll find our way to downward facing dog on the blocks. We'll come all the way up onto the toes, bend the knees, point the sit bones way back behind. Get long through the arms, long through the side waist. And then let the legs come a little bit more towards straight while you keep the sit bones reaching back and the heels ground. Yeah. And then we'll walk the hands back to the feet. We'll forward fold over the legs with bent knees. So let the knees bend, let the belly come towards the thighs. And move a little bit between this. So we're going to inhale, straighten the legs, reach the heart forward. Back of the neck stays long, shoulders out of the ears. Exhale, we bend in a little. Inhale, we reach long. Exhale, bend in, fold in. Inhale, crown of the head reaches, back of the neck stays long, shoulders out of the ears, right? Yeah, and then we'll slide hands to hips and stand all the way back up. And release the hands down to the sides. And give her a little bounce here. So let the whole body bounce. You might bounce with the heels too, if that's okay. You might just choose to keep the heels grounded. You might wiggle the jaw. You might bounce side to side. And then we're going to take that bounce to something else. So this is a little bit more energetic here, but you'll just see how you feel. But we'll step right foot forward, left foot back. So we're coming into, this is what I call a high lunge position. We're up on the back toes and the front knee is bent. And then let the arms come up softly. So big generous bend into the elbows. And then we're going to find a little bounce here. Yeah, so you're kind of like bouncing into the front knee. And finding the front heel really grounded. So let this be, the front heel really ground. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That feels really good to me today. Yeah. And then hands to heart center. Mm-hmm. Step forward. Pause and feel. Kind of energetic, right? It kind of brings the energy up a little. You can try the other side. So maybe the right foot stepping back, bend into the left knee, up on the right toes, and then the arms overhead with a good generous bend in the elbows. And then we find that little bounce. Let the breath be full, all the way to the top of the inhale, all the way to the bottom of the exhale. Mm-hmm. Good. And then we'll release, step forward, and pause and feel. Good. And then from here, let's come all the way down to the ground. We'll come lying onto our backs. Yeah. Let the arms be out from the sides, so out from the shoulders. And the feet are on the ground, the knees are bent. And let yourself just feel back body on earth for a moment here. Give just a little swish of the knees side to side. And then you're going to take the knees back up center and the fingers to the side of the head, or even a little bit to the back of the head, elbows wide. So we did this before. We've done this exercise before together. Feel the elbows press downwards, could be gentle, could be strong, and any kind of little puff of the chest up. Could be really small, could be a little bigger. You can see what works for you. So this would be like the inhale position. And then the exhale, we're going to curl head and chest up. And then we'll inhale, come wide and open. Uh-oh, maybe the sun is getting us. Is the sun okay? And then the exhale will come all the way back up. And then a couple more like that, just like that. Where the inhale, we try to find that little press of the elbows, little puff of the chest. And then the exhale curls in. And one more like that. And exhale. Now, if you're up for it, we'll add the knees. So we inhale, press in, puff the chest, and then the exhale, the knees come towards the elbows. Hug in. Any little shakes or wobbles are welcome. The inhale, the feet come back down, the heart lifts. And the exhale, we curl in. And then we'll open back out. And release everything. So let the arms come into a comfortable position. Let the feet find floor. Let the belly be soft. Just feel the movement of the breath. Yeah. And then take the knees, hug the knees into the chest. Have just a gentle rock side to side. Let it be fluid and soft, best you can. And then we'll come laying in Shavasana. So take everything long, arms by the sides. When I come into Shavasana, I always like to kind of lift up each shoulder and give just a little tuck under. And then if the arms are really close to the body, sometimes it's difficult for the shoulders to roll open. Sometimes if you take the arms a little distance away, you can have a better chance of letting the shoulders relax down to the ground. You might give just an ever so gentle, small little nod to the head, yes. Exploring that kind of chin, back of the neck, chest, shoulder relationship. And then at some point you'll just find this little rock side to side with the head, again, really gentle. And then let the back of the head really rest back towards the ground. So let the head be just really heavy, if that makes sense. If you have Ujjayi breath, if you have any control of the breath, let that go. And just rest. And so you could potentially stay here if you wanted to stay. Sometimes it's nice to practice Shavasana for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even 20 minutes, depending on your day. If you're feeling really fatigued or overwhelmed or ill at ease, I would say, in any way, practicing Shavasana for an extended period of time, maybe as you know, because you're familiar with restorative poses, can be really great. So I invite you to play with that if that fits into your schedule or needs. Otherwise, take the palms over the heart and just rub the palms. And just notice the pace at which you chose to rub. Could be fast, could be slow. Notice the sound of the palms rubbing. And then take the palms and place them on a part of the body that feels like it could use a little extra tenderness, a little extra care. And then we'll roll over onto a side. Maybe take a breath there. And then up to seated. If you like to find something to sit on, you can find something to sit on here. And we'll bring hands to heart center. So one intention that we'll hold for our practice together, our energy together. Of course, your intentions can be separate. You can have your own intentions that you're working on as well. But one of the intentions that we're working on is this idea of abhyasa. Right? So that's the phrase, the term that I mentioned yesterday that means discipline. And in yoga, the discipline is it's to come to practice, which I think you already mentioned, and you were already on to that in your own ways yesterday. But it's the intention of just coming to practice. So you might just sense inwards and see what feels appropriate for you for the next week to set as an intention. So it could be practice every day, every morning. It could be practicing 3 times this week to the video. Just whatever sounds just right? That's from your heart space, right? From what feels good for you. And then knowing that the intention is set, and then we release that into the universe, right? We release that, we let ourselves hold that intention softly. Again, so that goes back to being rigid, releasing any rigidity around the intention, right? And so that might mean that even if you get on your mat for 1 minute and you breathe, right? You can check off, I did it today, right? Or that was part of the intention, right? Or you might do the whole full practice, right? But the discipline is the just showing up, right? That's what we're going to hold for our discipline this week. We'll bow our head to heart, right? The heart that guides, the wisdom space in many traditions, many wisdom traditions. The heart is the space of wisdom. So we bow our head in honor of that. And we close again with our wish. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere know love and peace. Om Shanti, Om Peace. Namaste.